Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. You are tuning in to the January Lunch and Learn educational webinar with my special guest, Desiree Martinez. You see her off to the side. She is with All-in-One Social Media, and today she is talking about how to build a community of targeted raving fans. But before we get started, a couple of different things. And pardon me as I try to kind of work my way around Zoom. This is the first time we're hosting this through Zoom's platform. But a couple of different upcoming events for you. Tonight we have our Gals Inspiration Hub East Valley Evening Mastermind. If you are in the Phoenix area, you've never been to a Gals meeting, I encourage you to stop by, check it out, as it's a group of like-minded women coming together to share resources and tips and participate in mastermind discussions. So if you're struggling with something in your business, or you just want to celebrate and know that people understand where you're at and want to celebrate with you, that's tonight at 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. This Saturday, I'm hosting my Unfold Your Vision, Shift Your Mindset workshop, also in Tempe from 9:30 to 3 p.m. And you can find all of the information on the calendar. February 6th, a Social Connect Happy Hour mixer from 4 to 6 at the Carlsbad Caverns in Scottsdale. And then if you are tuning in, I know there are a few, since Desiree is actually in Texas, she's not here with us in the Phoenix area, but if you are interested in joining in on one of the masterminds, I do host a virtual mastermind, and that's coming up Thursday, February 9th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Arizona time in the evening. And last but not least, a Central Phoenix morning mastermind, Monday, February 13th from 9:30 to 11:30. So again, if you're interested, if you're a woman in business, you're struggling with how to build your business or needing some support and inspiration, motivation, this is a great place to come and express some of those struggles, and let us help you keep building your business forward. So very excited. I've known Desiree for quite some time. This is the second webinar she's hosting. She had a great turnout even on the first one that we did, all about social media. Desiree, are you finding that social media is always kind of the struggle that most business owners are facing?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest struggle people have is they just don't, and I have a quote about this, that they post something and they just expect the phone to ring off of the hook and everything to just magically be awesome with just like one or two posts randomly throughout a month. And so it's one of those things that takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and it's changed a lot over the years. It's important to keep up and stuff. So.
Right, so today we're going to talk about that, because I think a lot of the struggle, like Desiree was sharing, is that most of us, we want that instant gratification. We want to do as little as possible and get the most results that we can. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, that's just not the case. If you're in business, you know that it takes work, you know that it takes testing and doing things over and over and having some consistency to actually start seeing the results. So before we get started, I'm going to share with you a couple of things. You might have seen this on the educational webinar page that Desiree is going to tap into. She's going to talk to us all about what we should be posting, the power of influencers and how to tap them for content, and then using Facebook ads, because that is something that most of us, I think, are struggling with, is how do we place a Facebook ad? What's the difference between boosting a post and advertising, and what can we really expect? Welcome to everybody who's just tuning in now. I'm admitting everybody from the waiting room as they're coming into this webinar. And before I turn everything over to Desiree, I want to introduce you to Desiree. If you don't know Desiree, she is a crafty mom by day, a social media maven by night. She's been solving social media crime since 2010 by helping innocent entrepreneurs battle the evil woes of social media marketing, saving them from troublesome woes of content generation and from getting lost in the news. Her super service, all-in-one social media, saves business owners the heavy lifting with social media graphics, content, reporting, and advertising. It's all the social media your business needs for $125 per month, and I'll let her go into that a little bit more at the end. But Desiree, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you if you want to go ahead and start sharing your screen. And we'll have time for questions at the end if you do have specific things that you'd like to ask Desiree once we start to wrap it up around noon. All right. Bear with us. Like I said, we're using Zoom for the first time on these webinars. So far so good, I'm assuming, Desiree, and we'll let you.
Can you see my screen or no?
Yep, I can see
Okay.
it.
See building a community of targeted raving fans?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And if there's any questions, we've been muting everybody because there's just a lot of background noise and stuff. But if you have any questions, type into the chat and Tisha will make sure to flag me down to do them because I can't see anything, but you guys can see me. So, okay, so to get started, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. As Tisha said, I've been a social media marketer since actually about 2009, 2010 when I started really diving into doing social media management for business. So for about 7 years now, I've been helping businesses grow. And along the way, I had a lot of life changes. I am married. I've been married for 3 years. I had a Mario Kart themed wedding, and me and my husband are very nerdy. My husband joined the Air Force, and we are currently stationed in a small town called Abilene, Texas. And my husband works on planes for the military. And we have my dog, Kara, who's been with me for 9 years. And we have our 2 kids, Flynn and Harley. And on the rare occasions I get to grown up, the picture on the far right is what I actually get to look like. So usually my life involves tank tops, mom bun, and I'm usually getting tiny people food. So, but when I started All-in-One when I started All-in-One as an extension of all of my years of experience, I came into the situation where I kept running into all of these business owners who wanted to do social media, but there were so many pieces to their marketing that they needed to take care of that social media just became this thing that they didn't want to deal with, they didn't want to do, and they couldn't figure out how to get a good return on investment. And so I was able to figure out a way with my service to not only provide daily content, but also custom graphics and a small advertising budget every month for their business so that they could see, more likes to their page. They could get more views to their targeted leads to their website based on what they're trying to target and do. And it allowed for them to spend their time reacting to social media. So our service is really designed to be proactive. We do the planning of the content ahead of time to make sure that you have that daily presence. That way, when things happen in your business, you're able to react to them, like engagement, cool moments that you're experiencing right now, answering questions, all that kind of stuff. But I also started my business because when I became a military spouse, I didn't quite 100% know what life was like as a spouse. I actually am a 4th generation military family member, if that makes any sense. My great-grandfather fought World War II. My grandfather was in the Air Force and fought in Korea. My dad was a Marine, and now my husband is in the Air Force. And I grew up in this life, but it was so different. But I do remember watching my mom struggle every time we moved with trying to find work, because we would be sent to these small towns or overseas, and there were limited opportunities available even when you're educated and you know how to do stuff. So I didn't realize, 20 years later, that this was actually still an issue military spouses were facing. I think it's something like 29% of military spouses are unemployed, but also educated at the same time. They can't find work because of the demands that military life requires. And also the pay is low and they have families to take care of. So it doesn't really work well. So not only does our business help businesses grow, but we put military spouses to work. So military spouses are actually the people that curate our content and take care of those businesses. So by working with All-in social media, putting military spouses to work while helping your business grow. And it allows for military spouses to make money to supplement their family's income no matter where they're stationed. We actually do have people all over the world, and soon to be myself, because our family just got orders to Korea and we'll be going there in June. So that's a little bit of background about myself and the business, and I'm just going to let you guys know ahead of time if you guys are interested in helping me out. I've actually been nominated for Military Spouse of the Year, and the voting for that begins on February 2nd, and I'll be posting links up on the All-in-One Facebook page, my personal page, so if you're able to vote for me, I would love your support, because if I'm able to win this award and represent not only the Air Force, but also the military, I'll be able to help military spouses everywhere with having work and a marketable skill no matter where they go. So let's dive into content. This is sort of my motto for life these days. Toss your hair in a bun, drink some tea, put on some gangster rap, and handle it. This is the only way I get anything done these days. So it also would probably include throw on some headphones so nothing can bother you. So let's dive in. So why are we here? So we're going to talk about, just to recap, what to post on your social pages, unlocking the power of Facebook groups, how to find and utilize influencers, and then the power of Facebook ads. So before we get started, I really want you to think about something with your business, and it's going to be, what makes you unique? I'm a social media marketing agency, and the thing that sets us apart, is what we stand for, how we help businesses with our low cost, what our packages include, and we have the military spouse component. The majority of agencies that you go to are all going to post content for you, do ads, have it all available to you. It just depends on what their price point is and what they have going on. But what makes you unique and makes me unique is my voice and how we help our business and how we do it. So the majority of the all-in-one branding stuff is informative, but with a little bit of sass. I'm very silly in my posts, and I like hashtag things and stuff. So it's important for you to really identify and know why your brand is unique. And the reason that's important is because it's going to fall into place with everything. So why people need to follow you why people are going to follow you and engage with you is going to be all based around how unique you are, why they like you. And the reason I say it is because 1% of fans of the biggest brands actually engage with them. So 1% of all of Starbucks's followers actually engage with their brand. Only 1% of Target, 1% of Best Buy, 1% of Nintendo, all that stuff. They are not getting massive amounts of engagement all of the time. But they have a community around them. They know people pay attention to their brand and do stuff. So before you say, jump off the ledge for your social media stuff, stay with me. It's really important to remember that there's other places to grow your community. You need to invest time and money into it, and you need to be present. Because if you're not present for these brands, or be present for your own brand, then you're not going to be able to get an active, engaging following. And I know a lot of you are here because you don't get a lot of engagement. People are seeing your stuff, maybe not doing anything from it. So we're going to dive more into that. I know that it's a lot of work, and it's more work than it used to be in the past. But it's important for you to be there and to spend that time on it. It really is. And a lot of people get wrapped up in things like, oh, it's the numbers is what matters. When you're doing things, don't obsess about the numbers. People are seeing your stuff, and it's important for you to track your growth. So it's important to have 100 really great, engaging followers versus having just 1,000 people that like your page or follow you. So let's talk about being an expert. So one of the things that you always hear about with people is they want you to share content, share blogs, be a news source for your industry, be that expert. We do that for our clients as well. But it's really important for you to be creating your own content. Even if it's just a simple matter of having one blog a month that's posted to your website because you need it on your website, or creating images that are branded for your business, you need to be the expert. Because if you're not the expert and all you're doing is sharing everybody else's content, why would anyone buy from you? Why would anyone believe that you're an expert? You're sharing other people's information, so they're just going to go to those people for their leads. So it's really, and give them their business. So it's really important for you to be there. So a great way to start with it is to mix up your content. I'm a big fan of images. Images get astronomical amounts more engagement than anything else. It's images and video and links. Links are the third that get the most attention. So it's important to give information essentially away, educate, Education leads to sales and leads and people knowing more about why they need you specifically and your business. So mix up your content. Do facts, tips, questions, quotes. Be inspirational. The examples that you're going to see here are all things that I have posted or I have planned to be posted on All-in-One's Facebook or Instagram feed. So it's important to share the information and then expand upon it so that it's shareable, clickable snippets of information. Another important thing to do is to go beyond your brand. It's really important to show your personality. Like I said, why are you unique? What makes you fun and quirky? All-in-One Social Media is a social media agency powered by military spouses and run by me. And you see a lot of my life come through in the branding of what we do. So I post images on our Instagram feed all the time that are my life, like playing Oregon Trail with my husband on a Saturday night. The rare moments my kids are getting along, not biting or pushing or taking things from each other. What I'm reading right now, by the way, that's a really good book. What my desk is generally like. I almost always have empty Starbucks cups and glasses and plates on my desk because I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing, I forget to clean up after myself sometimes. But really make sure that you're taking the time to let your personality shine through with your brand. Because unless you're a corporation, unless you're a Target or a Starbucks or a Best Buy, you're the face of your brand. You're in charge of it. Embrace being that, and embrace your face. Embrace being the voice and who you are shining through in your brand, because people are going to ultimately buy from you. By sharing these behind the scenes fun things about your life, it just makes them trust and like you more, makes you relatable. So this is one of my biggest pet peeves that people do. A lot of people will just make like one image or one post and they'll share it to all of their social media platforms. And I understand it's more important to do that than to not have anything up on your platforms, but take the time if you're going to be investing in having your content done and stuff, especially if it's branded and made for you, to be formatted for each platform with the message tailored for it. So you can post the same thing on all your platforms, but respect the audience and formatting at each platform. Take the time to craft a message and size the images for each platform. So for example, this is my current blog I actually have running for this week. And I have formatted each image for each platform. So from left to right, it's for Facebook, and the middle it's Instagram, and on the far side it's for Pinterest. I make sure to tailor the message for each one. I make sure that with my Instagram posts, I have more hashtags. With my Pinterest one, I make sure that the title is all clear and what's in there is going to be there. For Facebook, I make sure that the messaging drives that traffic, all driving the traffic back to my website where they can get this calendar. And then I also have like my pop-up for my opt-in and stuff. So make sure that you're taking the time to do this if you're on multiple platforms for your brand. And then I really, really encourage you to be consistent and to have a content calendar. You can actually go to allinonesocialmedia.com. In our blog, I provide, if you saw here, a monthly content calendar. It gives you an idea of something to post for every single day of the month. And then I also include like holidays and pop culture events that are going on and things like that. So I do it every month. It's something I started doing for this year. You can use my content calendar as a starting point, but get a way to map it out and just pick a day once a month and plan out your marketing and execute it all. Like take a full day, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month for the most time. So I have this calendar. If you go to thecontentcalendar.com, you can actually get this calendar, and it comes with these really fun stickers, and it helps you has a place where you can organize your thoughts and map out what's going on for each day, and it lets you see what you need to do for the day. It also gives you goals and things to accomplish and things to take into account. So I love this calendar. I think it's fantastic. It was the best money I probably spent on goal setting for this upcoming year. So plan, have a calendar, be consistent. Because what is it? A goal without a plan is a plan to fail, right? Isn't that what the saying goes? So have a plan. Okay. And the other thing I want to talk about when it comes to your content is Facebook Live. Now, I know Tisha, if you guys follow her, Tisha does Facebook Live currently. Once a week, she has her weekly reflections. I'm about to start with my plan for my Facebook Live stuff. So it's kind of a matter of just really getting over the need for perfection and getting over maybe any insecurities that you might have, because people see you all the time. People that you do business with, they see you. They know what you look like. They know what you sound like. They know how you talk and act. So other people are going to want to know that about you. They want to see you. And by having that face, that voice, seeing your quirks and flaws and all that, it's going to really help people embrace your brand. So let's talk about getting you guys going on Facebook Live. You really want to have a plan. And again, schedule it out. You can use a content calendar and you have your days maybe that you do. Maybe you pick one day a week and that's when you do it. I always encourage you to promote your Facebook Lives. So if you want to do sort of a call to action like a couple days before, you can make it a boosted post, which we'll talk about in the Facebook advertising part, to really make sure people are tuned in. Use notes. I actually have notes right now for my presentation. I always have notes for when I do videos so that I can make sure I'm staying on track and hitting all the things I want to do, because when you're live, you want to make sure that you can't go back and do it over. You can't stop and re-record. So it's important to have those notes and then engage. So when you're going live, people are going to be commenting, they're going to be liking, hearting, asking questions, saying, hey, how's it going? Acknowledge them. Say, hey, Jessica, thanks for coming. I'm so glad you were able to tune in, or whatever. So engaging is going to be a great way for people to continue to come back, especially if it's like they have questions that they need answered and they have feedback about what you're saying. It's really important to make sure that you're there. So some housekeeping when it comes to Facebook Live. I encourage you to have a background. Make sure you don't have like messy house or dirty dishes. You want to make sure that it's sort of like a neutral, consistent background. You can even sort of stage it, or just have like a blank wall in your house. It's important to make sure that your background isn't distracting. Like no open doors, no open windows, no like bright lights on one side, no spotlights in there. Just make sure that people focus on you and don't get distracted. Another thing is good lighting. You can actually search on Amazon for a diva light or a selfie light, and it's like this light that like clamps onto the front of your phone, and it helps with like sort of it's a circle and it lights up your area. I actually have one coming, otherwise I'd be better lit today. Make sure you have your windows open and your light on, like I have in my current situation. You really want to make sure you have good lighting, because bad lighting people aren't gonna be turned on by that. And then do it during a quiet time. So unfortunately, while we're doing this presentation, my dog is at my feet and makes me nervous because I'm afraid she's going to bark any moment. My husband is downstairs wrangling my two toddlers. So it's important to make sure that if you do it, that you kind of do it during a time you're going to be alone. It's going to be quiet. Maybe it's at night. Maybe it's you have a scheduled time that your kids are away or your family's away. The dog is outside. He's not at risk of barking or getting in the way. You could do some of the things like Tisha does, where you hide in your car, so make sure that it's a quiet space so that people can, again, be focused on you and pay attention to you. And then we have the challenge of landscape versus portrait. So currently, if you have an iPhone, you're able to record your Facebook Lives landscape style. You have to go in and adjust your settings in Facebook for that, and you can just Google that. But I think it's really great. Hopefully, eventually, that update will come to Android. But right now, Android has it for portrait. There's also some apps that you can get. I have one listed at the end of the thing that you can use where you use your computer to do your Facebook Lives. So it's important to know the difference and plan for it. Usually by default, though, they're this way. They're portrait style. So kind of be prepared for that. And I also didn't add this for housekeeping, but if you are using your phone, make sure it's on a tripod or it's down. You don't want to get the shaky video, especially because what you're going to want to do is repurpose the video. So make sure that you are, still good lighting, and that you know landscape or portrait for your Facebook video. Okay. And then last but not least, you really want to make sure you're repurposing any of your live videos that you create as content to use on YouTube. Now, again, this is kind of a taboo thing that a lot of my fellow market professionals will say, no, don't do it. Every platform needs its own unique video. I get that. This is one of those instances, though, where I say put it up on YouTube, because as a small business owner, we don't have a huge budget for things, and it's better to have content up on YouTube that you can share in a blog or in email marketing or share for later, or maybe it's like, hey, it's been 6 months, but what I said just really applies to life today, so I'm going to share it with you again. Don't get rid of those videos. Put them on YouTube and have them there, backlink to your website as all of the good SEO things. Like, just keep using them. And don't let other people tell you not to. You can, though, take it to the next level, and you can go to a website like Fiverr, Fiverr, and see if you can find someone that can maybe make you a video intro. You can buy it for $5. Usually they have like a template, and they'll change out the text and stuff for you and add like a little music, and then you'll have an intro to your YouTube video. That way it can maybe have a little bit more of like that professional branding that you're looking for. So before we dive into our next section, does anyone have comments or questions? Okay, sounds good. I'll keep going then.
Oh, wait one second, Desiree.
Okay.
I'm monitoring the chat line. Hi, everyone. It's Tisha. I'm not going to go on video since we have Desiree's beautiful face in front of us. But Erin just said, besides Canva, what do you suggest for creating stuff?
Well, Canva is obviously the number one go-to for everybody I know, honestly. There's PicMonkey, or you can always take the leap and dive into Photoshop. You can start with Photoshop Elements, and I think there's a site called Brit & Co, like BRIT, the ampersand Co. They do like online classes, and they have classes on how you can like do basic photo editing and put text and stuff on photos, and it's usually like somewhere between $20 to $40 for the class. You can use it whenever you want and access it whenever you want, but you need the software. Or to promote myself, you can always come to a company like ours where we take care of it for you. So.
All right, Desiree, another question for you. So Erin said, what might you suggest for creating logos? And I know I've used some people, you mentioned Fiverr. If you are on a limited budget, I do think that there are some great designers overseas, of course, that can create a logo for you, especially Erin, if you already know kind of what you like, then someone could do that for you. Like if you're guiding the conversation and giving them that idea.
I'm a big believer in branding, and if there's a part of your business to invest in financially, I always will tell people, make sure your branding is on point, that it reflects what your business is about, the voice of your brand. I have a client right now that I'm kind of like a little bit out of a stalemate at right now, because she can't figure out what to name her business, but she understands the importance of like the name of my business is the name of my business. It's what I'm going to have for years and years and years. It's how I'm going to build my brand and her empire, she says. And so having the right name is really important. So I really encourage people to actually don't cut your costs on your logo if you can avoid it. Spend the money on a good designer. Really figure out, like, if you're struggling with it, I can totally connect you with someone that helps with people identifying what their brand should be and what their message should be, what their name should be, and work with the designer to do it. Branding is when it comes to establishing your brand, like the look and feel of your company, I don't think you should spend thousands and thousands of dollars, but I think it should be something that you invest in. Like I do logo designs for people still around like $500. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? If anyone has questions, we'll just put them in the chat box, and then we'll do this again once you're done.
Okay, no, that's fine. All right, next section. Okay, so now we're going to talk about unlocking Facebook groups. So The average person spends 20% of their online time networking across social channels. So that means 20% of our time is spent on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, whatever our platform of choice is specifically for business is spent networking. I probably spend like 90% of my internet time on Facebook. And a big part of that is actually spent on Facebook groups. For those of you that are part of the Gals Inspiration Hub Facebook group, I'm on there and I engage with the questions and I share information. I have other groups I'm a part of that serve different purposes with my life and what I have going on with my life and my business. So having a place where people can network with you and a community that you want to build is going to be huge for your business. So you want to have a Facebook group to build like a community, like a tribe of people that you can turn to for anything related to what you're doing. So with the Gals Facebook group, it's a place to be inspired. It's a place to connect with other business owners. It's a place to ask for questions and get help with struggles, to share information. And it's that tribe that you can turn to when you are looking for something or needing something. Usually there's a focused content or message. You know, Tisha isn't posting about politics or SEO or, you know, things that aren't related to what she's about and what the message of the group is. The other reason I think I like was it allows for like a sense of accountability. It's places you can turn to every day and people can hold you accountable or help you with your issues and stuff. And then of course, share information. I share my blogs on there that I think are relevant to you guys that would help you out, as do I think a couple of the other members as well. So it's a great place for everyone to share information under the umbrella of a brand or a person. And so some of the benefits of having a Facebook group that will help is notification. So whenever you add people to whenever people are in your group, you'll always get notified anytime anyone posts something or comments on something. You can have files. I think files is great with Facebook groups. Usually you see files in pages that are kind of very information-based where people ask the same things over and over again. Here at my military installation, we have files for like phone number, like a phone number index, things for like where local businesses are, how to take care of your pets, how to get a hold of maintenance, that kind of stuff. Files can be used though in your group for like, these are ongoing resources. This is how, 10 steps to setting up your website, people answers to questions that people consistently ask, those kinds of things. So those things are really valuable that you can store on a Facebook group. And then think of your Facebook group as an extension of your Facebook page. So to use Gals as an example, she has her Facebook page and posts to it regularly, links and content and stuff, but it's an extension. The Facebook group is her extension of that. It's kind of where more questions can be answered and people are able to engage on that next level. So her Facebook page is more informative and her Facebook group is more engaging. So some housekeeping things about Facebook groups. So private versus closed versus public. So one of the big things about Facebook groups that people tend to get turned off by them is that they get spammed a lot. So when you have a public group, you'll find people that just join the group and just share their blogs and never engage or post or anything like that. So I always encourage people to do a closed group. That way you kind of have a filter to approve people. And then maybe if you're trying to be really specific about who's in it, like maybe just women, or maybe just people who live in an area, or you can ask questions. Hey, person that asked to join my Facebook group, why do you want to be part of this group? What's your connection to this? I know that whenever with military installations, people are like, thanks for requesting to add. What's your connection to the base? Like, why are you doing it? And usually people are like, oh, I'm moving to wherever at this time, or I live here right now and I need access to the page, like those kinds of things. So, and private is where it's like members only, people can't search it and find it. So those are what the differences are. And then I have the what's in a name. So if people might be interested, so again, back to branding and purpose. So Gals Inspiration Hub is a place that is flat. It's a place that People know it because it's under the branding of gals, and that the purpose of it is in there in the description. Other things, if like you're trying to do area, like maybe for Phoenix people, maybe it's like Phoenix Valley Women Support Group. Where I'm at, we have the Dias Spouses page. So the name helps make it searchable. So make sure it's relevant and not too weird or quirky. And people are like, what the heck is that? Why am I in this group? Adding people. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I think network marketing businesses are fantastic and I support people. I have friends that do them, but nothing is more annoying than being added to a Facebook group for whatever their businesses may be without being asked, or any group in for that matter, but the network marketing businesses tend to be more on that page. Don't add people if they don't want to be added. Ask people, say, hey, Tisha, I'm starting this new group for all-in-one social media clients. Would you like to be a part of it so that you can connect with, ask social media-based questions and share information? It's not the end of the world. Ask people to be there. And then post multiple times a day. So unlike with the Facebook page where people are like, no, don't only post once a day, otherwise it's spammy or people don't want to see it. In a Facebook group, you should be posting multiple times a day, sharing more things that are going on, those quotes, links, information, asking questions. It's okay to do it there, and you should do it there. And then remember, it's about the tribe's need first, not your own. It's not a place where you add everybody and say, I'm having a sale, I'm doing this, sign up, buy this, buy that, do this is all about me. No, it's having a place where people are part of this community where their needs are being met first. So Tisha does a great job with her group because she's inspiring on a regular basis. She's helpful every day. She promotes her events and stuff, but it's more like, hey, if you can come. If not a big deal. Or I have this thing going on. But most of the time, I'm trying to help you find what you need. Remember that when you're doing your Facebook group. And then what should you be posting in your Facebook group? Very similar to what I talked about in the last section with what to post. This is where we're going to ask questions, ask people specific questions. Like they can be simple things like, what's more important to your marketing, social media or email? Or even silly questions like chocolate or peanut butter. Whatever you want to ask, that's where you can do it, and it's easy for people to engage with. Ask for sharing. People can say, hey, share what you guys have going on, share what you have going on, those kinds of things. I also encourage you to share things from your Facebook page rather than making them separate posts. So like when I share like my latest blog or whatever, I share it to the page from All-in-One's Facebook page, but I'm posting it as myself. So it helps with viewability, algorithms, all that kind of stuff. And then I always love memes, inspiration, and life posts. Again, Tisha does a great job with that, where you're posting funny things like make me laugh, post your funny fitness picture, or get inspired for the day, or oh my God, this is my life right now, where it's like your kid dumped out all of the Legos and they're everywhere and you can't walk and they've dumped them out and walked away. Like that's my life, but I don't know if that's your life. So, and then the last thing I really love is picture of the day, POTD. Picture of the day basically tells people exactly how to engage with you. I actually make this graphic for Tisha every week. We plan it out every month. And then she and you guys know like what the topic is for that day. Like what kind of fun things are going to be inspired and shared. And it kind of gives it that constant and consistent engagement. On the left over here is what one of my friends, Natalie, does. She does Beachbody and she has a Facebook group. And I love how she does it, where the motivation or funny meme, let's see your smile. And then she posts it and then people comment on it there, or they just share it straight to the Facebook group. So picture of the day is a great way to get engagement by telling people exactly what to do that day. That way it makes it easier for them to do it. So how do you grow your Facebook group? Well, you can do things like webinars and events, and you tell people about it, and you can contact them if you get their information, which you always should be doing, and ask them if they want to join. promote your Facebook group on social media, post on your personal page, post it on your Facebook page, post on Twitter, on Instagram, on Pinterest, and say, hey, I have this group that serves this purpose. Click here to join. And it helps with that. Consider adding your clients to it. Maybe they would be interested in being a part of this group or community to get to know you better and get to know the people you service better and maybe they can connect with people who are having similar issues. Let your members add people. So with gals, I remember Tisha opened it up where people could add people that they thought would benefit from the community, and it has grown. And then I love how she welcomes people to the group as well. That's always good. And then, of course, add it to your sales funnel. By signing up for our service, you get to be part of this exclusive group where you can get all of your social media questions answered or your needs met or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you do fitness, you get exclusive access to, daily workouts or recipe of the day, or be a part of community who are posting about cool, fun t-shirts and workouts that they're trying and new gyms and new things that they're finding and exciting. So by adding it to your sales funnel, it allows for people to take that engagement with you to the next level. So any questions about Facebook groups?
Hey, Desiree, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, I just guys.
Yeah, no problem. So one thing that I'm noticing in Facebook groups, and I'm not sure how many people in the participants or who will be watching the recording have their own Facebook group, but I'm starting to notice in a lot of them that I'm a part of, they are doing more with challenges within the group, where it's a challenge to, hey, and I'm actually looking at doing this in the Gals Inspiration Hub, of doing a February kind of share the love challenge, kind of centered around Valentine's Day, of, invite people to become a part of it. Attend one of the meetings. I feel that the struggle I have is there's so many people. It's that whole 80-20 rule, of course, with business is, you have this group and maybe 20% of the people will actually take action, engage with you, show up. So how do you start to engage people that may be kind of in the group but not actively in the group to take a next step?
I think pictures of the day help. I think that what you suggest with the challenge to engage, and I think maybe even just asking people, what is it that keeps you from engaging with the group? What is it that we can help you with? And then, honestly, if people just aren't there doing anything, I would message them privately and say, hey, is this group really helping you in any way? Is this something that you actually want to be a part of? And then if not, turn it off and then remove them from the group. What's nice about the Facebook group is it's your space. It's your group, it's Mean Girls. It's your table. You can't sit with us, if they're not gonna. If they're not gonna.
Connotation. This is the Mean Girls Club.
No, this is that. Not that mentality, but it's not like that. It just means more it's important to be a community of people. If they like to be, if maybe some people are just stalkers and they like the information, but they don't say much. Like I said, it's better if I think communicating with people, hey, is this giving you what you want or what you need? Or are you enjoying this information? If not, they can stay or not stay. I think that just comes down to what you want. And I think when you think about maybe they're not seeing your posts, or maybe they're not knowing what to do, or maybe they got added accidentally. There's a whole host of reasons. And that's why I think that if people aren't engaging, it's a matter of talking about why they're not. And then if they don't want to, taking whatever next step you feel is necessary.
I think also that most people, when they're in groups, will turn off all the notifications. Some people have done that as well, of, you know what, I don't really need to get every single post because people are posting quite a bit.
Yeah, and I do that for like sales groups, or for my base spouses group. People post on it all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that's it's a matter of what your preferences are. And that's why I think it's important to stay, if they're your community and there are people maybe that you've even added, it's important to connect with them and be like, hey, is this servicing you? If not, why not? What is it that I can do to get you to engage with it? Or would you rather not be a part of the group anymore?
Right. All right. Any other questions? Feel free to put those in the chat line, and we're going to keep going. We have about 15 minutes.
Oh, oops. Okay. I'm going to go fast then. Okay. Sorry. I can talk a lot. So how to find and utilize influencers. Oh, can you turn off somebody, Tisha? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So how to find and utilize influencers. I'm going to go a little fast. It is simple, practical, and basically engagement gold is how I feel about influencer marketing. 95% of people trust recommendations from others over branded content, even if they don't know them personally. So when people are looking up on social media, they're not going to believe that we're the greatest because I'm saying we're the greatest. They're going to believe that we're the greatest because I have the proof in the pudding from, you know, reviews and people talking my brand and sharing it and things like that. I get my business greatly through referrals. So when other people refer me, those people close because that's what they believe to be effective. So it's important to make sure that you have people who are raving fans for your brand and can influence people. And anyone can be an influencer whether you know it or not. One referral makes that person that gave it to you an influencer. So with getting started with trying to find what influencers are best for your brand, look to your current customers and at the work that you've been doing and see if you can turn to them to help you create your own content. Maybe it's somebody who writes a review for you that you share. Maybe they take a picture of something with your product or with your service or with you and they share and they post about it and tag you in it, and then you can reshare that content. Another thing to do is maybe make a list of the 10 most influential people that you know and see if there's something that you can do with them to help get that boost in influencer marketing. And then the other thing to do, so when you go to get, hot, warm, cold on our leads, is go find people that could advocate for your brand and get to know them. Don't just contact them and via email and say, hey, I saw that you work in the social media space. Can you talk about my brand? No, know them, get engaged with them and like who they are and see if they'd be a good fit for your brand. So you want to connect with them. I always tell people the first thing you should do when you're connecting with anybody is follow them on social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's the best place to see. So you can see if their content matches up with what you have going on. I was listening to this podcast with this guy he is a baker. He talks about sugar and fatty foods and making the most high calorie, delicious cupcakes of your life. He got contacted by a business that does cricket flour to help with lower calories and increased proteins. And they contacted them to do influencer marketing, and he just ignored it. You don't even know what I do. You just searched food blogger and thought that I would instantly want to work with your business. Because it's important to remember that these people are building an audience and their message. So your business needs to match with their brand, not the other way around. So connect with them and see if they would be a good fit and if they'd be interested. The next thing is if they decide that your brand works with their brand and would be beneficial for their following, don't give them really strict, specific rules about what they have to do. Oh, you have to write a blog, and you have to do 5 posts, and you have to use these hashtags, and da-da-da-da. Don't do that. Give them the freedom to have fun with your brand and your product or your service and talk about it in the way that they want to talk about it. And don't ask too much of them because, they're helping you. You're not doing it for them. It's not like you're going to a model or an agency and saying, I want this and this is how it needs to go. You're going to someone and you're tapping into their network, so it needs to be different. And then once they post that content, you're going to want to share it and say, hey, look what so-and-so said, but share it from their space. So if they post on Facebook, share from their Facebook post. If they share on Instagram, regram their stuff, tag them in the post and use the hashtags that they have for what's going on. And then some housekeeping, again, research. Make sure the person that you are connecting with to be an influencer makes sense for your brand and theirs. Sometimes there needs to be some compensation involved. Whether it's money, some influencers charge for having access to their followers, or trade for product, or maybe a trade for service. So it's really important to make sure that you have that. It's made very clear to between the two of you, because there's a difference between influencers and like people who just review products. It's a really big difference. So, but what's really important to remember, the FCC has stepped in, and the FCC says that if you are paying someone for doing something in any way, whether it's a product, whether you're giving them something, or you're giving them a gift card, or you're paying them money, that their post has to specify that they are working with you or for you. So a lot of people will use #ad so people know that it's an advertisement, but people can do things like say, oh, we're working with this brand on this thing. It has to be told that it's paid for in some way, shape, or form, because it's part of the FCC compliance. It's just the rules now. And then again, always remember, it's their network, and you're paying, and you're getting to work with them is a privilege, and you want to make sure that you don't mess that up for them. So it's important to work within their rules limitations. So I'm going to just dive into Facebook ads just because of time. So only 10% of business pages pay for Facebook advertising. So now it's more numbers for you. There's 40 million business pages. So that means only 4 million of them are paying for advertising. So when you look at it like this, there's 1.2 billion people on Facebook. It's such a small fraction of people that are actually getting the most out of it. So it's important for your brand and your business to get that too. So familiarize yourself with social media targeting tools to build your perfect target for your business. Now we're going to talk specifically about Facebook. I'm sorry for anyone who's on the phone because this part's a bit visual. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different kinds of Facebook ads. So first of all, why are you seeing an ad? So I actually pulled this from my Facebook feed, and I get targeted all the time for random different things because I do so much on the internet. I'm pretty sure I confused Facebook. But this ad popped up, and so if you go to the upper right-hand corner, hit the pull down the little arrow, you can see why am I seeing this. And then on the next, to the right here, you can see, it tells you why you're seeing this. The ad for promo wants to reach people who may be similar to their customers. And so they've created a snapshot of what their customer looks like. And I'll go over a little bit about that after this. But it also tells you more specifically, they want to reach women ages 22 to 56 who live in the United States. So that's why I'm seeing this ad. So it's really important to specify what kind of person that you are that wants to see the ad that'll be interested in your business. So it's really important to know the different kinds of ads that are available. So you can do awareness, so boost your posts, promote your page are the big ones. And those like get more likes and let more people see your like blog, your post that you're doing, whether it's a blog or a meme, get more clicks to your site. I'm actually running a boosted post right now for one of my blogs. Consideration, things like send people to a destination, install an app, raise hints of an event, get video views. So it's all about what your marketing objectives are. And then the other one is conversions. Increase conversions on your website, increase engagement to your app, get people to claim an offer, all those kinds of things. So it's all about what your marketing objective is. That will let you choose. Facebook's going to take what your objective is and tailor the ad on the back end for that purpose. Because it keeps track of what everyone does. And so if you want to increase your conversions on your website, they're going to try and do a better job of targeting people that go to websites from Facebook, that kind of thing. So if that makes any sense. So it's important to build a specific audience. So at the bottom here, you can see you go to facebook.com/ads/audience-insights. And this is where you're going to want to build your client avatar. Like, what does your client look like on Facebook? What's their age? What's their gender? What are their interests? What are they connected to? How much money do they make? What's their religious affiliation? Are they parents? Are they married? Are they single? Do they like BMW? Like, there's all these things you want to figure out. So I'm going to show you. So this is a snapshot of the demographic that I'm targeting for my ads. And I'm targeting men and women ages 25 to 54 who live in the United States. and they're interested in these things. So small business, yellowpages.com, business coaching, LinkedIn, small business Saturday, entrepreneurship, business insider, the 4-hour work week. I'm targeting people who run small businesses. If you are a restaurant, you want to target people within a certain area who maybe like to eat out or like tacos or things, if you're a Mexican, like tacos and things like that. You really want to make sure you hone in on the things they like. You can look at books, you can look at speakers, you can look at other pages that they like. Maybe they like your competitors. If your competitor has a big enough following, it'll show up as an interest. So it really lets you specify who you're looking for. If you know exactly the kind of person you're looking for, how much money they make, what their business titles are, all that stuff, you want to build it as in this specific audience. Okay? And this is the part everyone hates. It's the part I hate. You have to test it. Which means you might spend money and waste money. But it's kind of part of it. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars testing, but you can spend $10 to $5 on an ad. So like right now, I'm actually working with a business coach, and I have to run like 6 ads. Or something like that, where it's like I have to do 3 different images that show 3 different things happening, and then I have to try those 3 images with text on them to all of this demographic, and then change the messaging around a little bit as it makes sense. So you got to test things, run multiple ads, and then try images with or without text to see what's going to work for your ad. So, and then to wrap up more or less, so do we have any questions real quick about influencers or Facebook ads?
We don't have anything in the chat if you want to continue on, Desiree.
Okay, so these are a couple little helpful tools. So TAC is mainly for Instagram, where it allows for you to find user-generated content. So you go to Instagram, you find an image that you like. Maybe they're using your product, talking about your brand, or maybe they have an image that makes sense for your business. It allows you to contact them and get legal permission to use that image, because you can't just use anybody's images. You have to get permission for that. And then BeLive.tv is the site you can go to use your computer to do live streaming, and it does like the little tickers along the bottom, like titles and names and things like that. You can do like dual screens, so you can like interview somebody. And then you want to make sure that your website has Facebook Pixel installed on it. Go to Google and just search Facebook Pixel, and it tells you what all about it and why you need it, and then how to install it. It's simple, but it's important for your Facebook advertising to track your conversions. So I'm going to tell you, I got you. I'm here to help you. I'm a resource for you. I want to be an extension of you and your business to help you accomplish what you want to do. So I have 2 things for you. Go get my freebie. I have 19 simple, engaging, free social media images for your Facebook page that you can download. Just go to allinonesocialmedia.com/19-free-social-media-images. And you can, and I'll share this on the Facebook, or maybe Tisha could put it in the chat box. And you can get images that you can use without any worries or anything like that for your social media platform, specifically for Facebook. And then just for this webinar, I'm offering a free 15-minute social media review. Just shoot me an email at Desiree@allinonesocialmedia. We can set up a time and go over what you're doing on your social. Maybe I can help give you some pointers or tips on things that you can post and you can do, and how to optimize your page a little bit better. So that's it. That's our presentation for today.
All right.
I'm going to end screen sharing and turn it over to Tisha. Tisha, want to turn your camera back on?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you, Desiree. If you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to go ahead and share those in the chat box, or even if you want to go ahead and unmute your mic, you can do that as well. So you can connect with Desiree. You have a chat. Maybe that was you, Desiree.
Oh, that is me. I'm going to paste messages.
Can you now see the chat box, Desiree, or no?
Yeah, I'm on there. I'm in there right now.
Okay. All right. So a couple of quick things. If you are not a member of the Gals Inspiration Hub community yet, I know Tara Misha, and I'm probably butchering your name, I'm so sorry, but I know you just requested while you were on, so I accepted you into the group. That is a great place to just be with like-minded people, ask questions, as Desiree said. She shared a lot about what Gals is doing in the community. So great resource. A lot of people post questions in there too. And I feel like you just get instant feedback from a lot of business owners who have been there, done that. Desiree also being in that group as well. So we do have another webinar coming up, and I don't know, maybe I can share my screen and show you. I can do that. So Friday, February 24th, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., so the same time. Special guest is Crystal Hallman with Crystal Photography, and she's really talking about leveling up your brand with images. So just as Desiree was sharing, your brand is really important, so is your professional appearance. So you don't want to be using selfies and things like that to, have as your headshot on your website. You really want to make sure that you're doing some professional headshots for that, especially if you're doing anything with the news, or perhaps you're getting asked to be interviewed by the news. They're going to want that headshot as well. So she's going to talk about that. I haven't yet put the link up, but I'll send that out in the email with the recording for this webinar if you'd like to go ahead and re-register for next month. All right. So again, if you have any questions, let us know. I thank you for your time. It's about 12 o'clock right now. I am running a special. I'll just share, if you are thinking about joining Gals, there is a code right now until January 31st for the code New Year, and that actually leaves first month off. And then just like Desiree, she does the 15-minute assessment. I also do a 45-minute Dream It, Do It session. So if you're struggling with your business, you're trying to figure out where you're supposed to go, I'd love to connect with you. You can schedule that on my calendar as well. So a couple of things we have in the chat box. All right, I don't think we have any questions, but a lot of love to you, Desiree, for sharing all of your great insight. And perfect. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Erin and Sue, thanks for hanging on with us until the very, very end. I know a couple of the other gals had to jump off. We look forward to seeing you in the Gals Inspiration Hub or on social media. And of course, you can connect with Desiree in the group or via email. I'll send her information out as well. Thanks, Desiree, for being a part of today's presentation.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Good luck, ladies.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.